The United Nations has launched the first-of-its-kind collaborative platform with the Nigerian private sector to tackle the humanitarian crisis in the country's northeast. The plan, which is called Nigeria Humanitarian Fund Private Sector Initiative, NHFPSI, is to primarily encourage private sector business and to contribute to efforts to save lives in the insurgency-ravaged northeast. Onya Adekunle was at launch and now reports.
Leading lights in the Nigerian private sector, captains of industries and top government officials gather here to witness the launch of an initiative to combat one of the country's most severe crises. A UN report shows that since the start of the Boko Haram crisis in 2009, more than 27,000 people have been killed and about 7.7 million people are in dire need of humanitarian assistance in the northeast, particularly in Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states.
In my own local government, we used to have more than 15 post-primary schools. None of them is now existing or has been operating since 2014 when Boko Haram took over Goza and converted it into their caliphate. Boko Haram inflicted $9.2 million destruction in Borno State. That translates to over 2.75 trillion naira. The budget of Borno State is less than 200 billion. Even if we are going to spend all that to rebuild the destruction, it will take us 20 years.
Private sector companies and investors have a pivotal role to play in responding to the humanitarian crisis, and many, most of whom are present here today, are already actively helping and supporting their fellow Nigerians. While Nigeria is hit by one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, the misnomer is that it is Africa's biggest economy and home to one of Africa's most vibrant private sector. The initiative that the UN and the Nigerian business leaders will launch today is a new way for commercial entities and entrepreneurs to become directly involved in humanitarian response to the crisis.
This is the period, this is the time. Borno State is a center of commerce. We share borders with 3 countries. We export goods and we contribute to the internal generated revenue of Nigeria. But all this is now a history. We are counting on you. You have benefited from the community. You have large customers from us. So this is a great opportunity for us to see that you give back to the society what you have benefited from us.
The Nigeria Humanitarian Fund, with the external support of 17 donor countries, has already donated $70 million in contributions and pledges to urgent life-saving needs in the region. And with this new initiative, private sector stakeholders can now step up to the plate as well.
As EcoBank, we will provide the digital platform that enables all interested Africans, interested Nigerians, to be able to contribute and support in gathering funds to support our brothers and sisters in the Northeast or indeed in any other part of Nigeria where help is needed. When we generate a QR code for, let's say, a pharmacy somewhere in Maiduguri, and the whole idea is to provide medication to people in the IDP camp, you staying here can decide to pay for medication for anybody out there by your own contribution because you will have the QR code image on your phone, whereas the payment will be happening into the merchant account of the pharmacy in Maiduguri.
It is a bit of an indictment to me that it would have to take the United Nations coming to us to help us organize this effort. But now that they are here, we must support them. We must support them. And if, for me and for us as a firm, providing free legal services is just a starting point, we must also contribute.
The Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations sends a message of appreciation to the donors for their contributions.
We at the United Nations are honored to partner with you in saving lives and in extending solutions and support to millions that are in need, and to build on the progress made by the government of Nigeria, by the international community, and by the Nigerian people themselves.
Certificates were presented to the steering group pioneers, which include Adewale Tinubu of Owando PLC, Falake Animumoni for First Bank of Nigeria, Samaila Zubairu of Africa Finance Corporation, and a host of others. Other well-meaning Nigerians, entrepreneurs and business owners have also been urged to participate in the initiative in order to provide sustainable solution to the crisis in northeast Nigeria. Uyi Adekunle, TV 360, Nigeria.